Hey guys, Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and if you were looking for a way to assure a moist and delicious turkey, I have got just the thing for you. For this episode, I have partnered with Wishbone to show you how you can use their Italian dressing as a quick and easy turkey brine. If you're not familiar with brining, it's a really easy technique that involves soaking meat in a salted seasoned solution, usually for several hours. And what that will do is allow the meat to actually retain its moisture as it cooks. This is a great thing to do for the Thanksgiving turkey because turkey meat can be notoriously dry. So brining is a great way to assure that you will have a moist and delicious Thanksgiving bird. It's also a super simple technique that even a novice can master. So let me show you how to make my Mediterranean-inspired turkey. So we're first going to create our brine. Now, brining does take at least 12 hours or overnight, so it's best to plan ahead. This is a great thing to do the day before Thanksgiving. So you want to be working with a fully thawed turkey. And in my experience, a frozen turkey can take anywhere from 3 to 4 days to fully thaw out. So again, you want to plan ahead and get that shopping done a few days ahead of time. Most frozen turkeys will also come with the giblets inside the cavity, so you want to make sure that you remove them. But hold on to the neck because we're going to be using that for our pan gravy. Then you want to get out a large brining bag. Now, if you've never seen these before, the good thing about Thanksgiving is you'll start to see them everywhere in the supermarket because brining has become kind of trendy in the last few years. Now, this is the way that I like to prepare this to kind of cut down on the mess. I take out my roasting pan because I know that it's going to hold my turkey, and I place the brining bag inside. You can put it on your counter just next to your sink so that as you are rinsing out your turkey, removing your giblets, it's a quick 1-2 lift into the brining bag. Once your turkey is in the bag, you can go ahead and take your pan over to your prep area to prepare the brine. So into the bag, we are going to add 4 cups of chicken broth. Now here's another tip for you. You want to make sure that you actually don't buy the low sodium chicken broth. You want all of that salt in the broth because that is what really helps the brining process. So that's why I also like this recipe because it saves you a step of having to add the salt. The chicken broth will do all the work for you. Then we are going to add 2 bottles of the Wishbone Robusto Italian dressing. Now this is where I pay homage to my Italian roots. But I love this dressing because it is filled with so much flavor coming from all those herbs and spices, and it's going to save us a step because we don't really have to do much to it after that because it's all in the dressing for us. Now many of you know that I live here in Southern California, so now I am going to add a touch of my Californian roots to our Mediterranean turkey. And the funny thing is that the things that grow well in the Mediterranean also grow very well here in Southern California. So we are going to add the peel of 1 lemon. Then I'm going to add 6 sprigs of fresh rosemary and 1 bay leaf. And that's it. Our brine is done. So all you're going to do is seal up that bag. And at this point, I also like to flip the turkey because what I find is that it's better if the brine is actually soaked in through the breast meat of the turkey, since that tends to be the driest part of the bird. And you want to make sure that that breast meat soaks in all of that moisture. Then you can go ahead and pop it in your fridge and it'll do its thing while you sleep overnight. Then on Thanksgiving morning, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your roasting pan, put it on the side of your sink. Then you're going to take the brining bag and put it in the sink. Then place your turkey roasting rack in the center of your pan. Then you're going to go in and you're going to pick up your turkey just under its wings and place it in the roasting rack. Then you can take your roasting pan over to your prep area and prepare your turkey for roasting. Then the next thing you want to do is take care of the wings of the turkey. Now, if you look at it and you see those little wings are popping up, if you start to roast that for over several hours, those wings will start to burn. So what I like to do is actually put the turkey in a semi-yoga pose. It's a little bit awkward at first, but you'll see it actually works and the turkey will cooperate. So here's what you do. You take the wing and you just sort of bend it back and put it right under the turkey. And you'll see when you do that, it'll look like the turkey wings are sort of going like this. That's what you want to do. That will keep the turkey wings nice and protected while the turkey roasts. The next thing we want to do is pat our turkey dry from all the brine. So because it was sitting in that liquid overnight, all of the skin has become very moist. And you want to make sure that you pat that dry so that as your turkey roasts, it will actually crisp up and it won't steam up. Next, we're going to prepare our rosemary butter. So in a small bowl, you're going to add 4 tablespoons of melted butter, 2 tablespoons of minced rosemary, 1 teaspoon of fresh lemon zest, and 1 minced garlic clove. You can go ahead and just stir that up with a fork and your rosemary butter is done. So we're going to take this rosemary butter and we're going to put it under the skin of the breast meat, and that is going to infuse our turkey with the most delicious herb butter flavor. But to do that first, we need to make sure that that skin is loosened from the breast. So you can go ahead and just slide your fingers under the skin and loosen it, making sure that you're creating almost like 2 pockets on either breast. Then you're going to take the remaining butter and just spoon it over the turkey, working it all around with your hands. You can go ahead and get the legs and the wings, and you want to make sure that the whole thing is covered with this herb butter. Now, the nice thing about a brine turkey is you don't actually need to salt it. All of that saltiness from the chicken broth was just enough. So the only thing that I do like to do is add a little bit of freshly cracked pepper just all over the turkey. And then we're going to tie this turkey up. So there's lots of different ways you can truss a turkey. I think the simplest way really is just to take out your butcher's twine, wrap it around the legs, tie it once, then tie it twice. And once it's nice and secure, then you can go ahead and bring it back down under the turkey and give it another tie on top. That will make sure your turkey stays nice and together, retaining its moisture as it roasts. Now, another thing that's going to make this recipe really easy is we are actually going to prepare our pan gravy in our roasting pan. So in our roasting pan, we're going to add 2 bay leaves, 4 cups of chicken broth, ½ a cup of Marsala wine. Now, if you can't find Marsala wine, you could also use ½ a cup of white wine. And if you don't drink, you could leave it out altogether. A teaspoon of whole peppercorns. And we're also going to throw in the turkey neck. Give that a stir, and then this is going to create the most delicious pan gravy that we're going to use on our turkey after it's roasted. Then the final thing we're going to do is create a turkey tent with some tinfoil. This is a technique that my mom has been doing for years, and it works like a charm. You're just going to drape it over the turkey and fasten it on the sides of your roasting pan, creating like a little tent. We're going to roast our turkey like this for about 1 hour and 45 minutes, just to give the turkey a head start and allow it to really start to cook underneath the foil. And at that point, you're going to remove the tent and allow that turkey to roast for another 45 minutes to 1 hour. Now, during this stage of roasting, you want to go in with your baster and actually baste the turkey with the pan gravy every 15 minutes or so, just until the thickest part of the thigh comes up to 165 degrees. Now, I really like to take turkey out at this point because as you let it rest, it will come up to 170 degrees, which I think is really the perfect temperature for turkey. I think anything higher just really dries out that poor turkey bird. Then you're going to remove your turkey and place it on a cutting board and allow your turkey to rest for at least 20 to 30 minutes. Then for your pan gravy, we're going to take our roasting pan and we're going to pour it through a fine mesh sieve into a heat-safe pitcher. Then we're going to take the gravy and pour it through a fat separator. That way you'll have a really smooth and fine gravy. You want to transfer that gravy into a saucepan, and then you're going to add 3 sprigs of fresh rosemary. And what we want to do is we want to simmer this gravy just for about 10 minutes to allow it to kind of reduce down and thicken a bit, and to give your rosemary a chance to infuse your gravy with the most delicious rosemary flavor. Then you can go ahead and carve your turkey, and you will see how delicious and moist this turkey is thanks to our turkey brine. It's a step that doesn't take a ton of time if you just plan ahead, and you will see in the final analysis when you start to carve that Thanksgiving bird how much it was worth the extra effort. And then I also like to garnish the platter with some more fresh herbs, a little fresh rosemary, some more bay leaf. And you can also place some fresh fruits if you wanted to, like little crab apples. Or sometimes I have kumquats growing in my garden at this time of year, and I like to place a few of those as well. Then you can take your pan gravy and transfer it into a gravy boat and serve it alongside with your Thanksgiving meal. And then another thing that I like to do with the pan gravy, because it is not a very thick gravy, it's really more of a au jus, if you will, is to spoon it over the turkey meat. That way, it will actually keep that turkey nice and moist as your guests make their way through the buffet line. I love this recipe because it's so easy to put together. It celebrates all of my favorite flavors coming from my own personal heritage, as well as my Californian Mediterranean climate. I hope you guys give this one a try and let me know what you think. Plan ahead, spend the extra time to do a turkey brine. I think you'll find the results are well worth the effort. For more ideas around Thanksgiving and turkey brining, you can head over to wishbone.com/Thanksgiving. And I will see you back here next time for another delicious recipe. Bye.